Welcome back. We're having a chili cook-off today, and I am cooking off chili against myself. That's right. I'm making 3 different kinds of chili because I'm low on freezer meals, I'm low on food, I need dinner tonight, so I'm making chili, and I'm making all different kinds of chili. So we're gonna see which one turns out the best. The first one is going to be just your standard chili recipe. I usually have one that I typically use, but this is different, so we're gonna try it. That was 1 pound of ground beef that I had already cooked up a little earlier today, and we're going to add just a bunch of stuff into this crock pot. So I love a dump and go. Now I know cooking the beef is not exactly dump and go, but a hack for that is cook a bunch of beef and put it in your freezer. That way you have it ready anytime you need it. Now this is a jar of tomato sauce. I'm also making tomato sauce behind me, so if you see it overflowing, tell me. Okay, crisis averted. This is interesting. We are adding a little bit of a sweetener, just like a tablespoon of maple syrup. So I haven't seen that before. I'm also going to add some beans. These are actually, well, let me get them open. These were technically refried beans, but they didn't seal. So I decided to put them in the fridge, and we're gonna use them now. They're not coming out, and I need to use a spoon, so let's put the garlic in next. That way I can use the garlic spoon to get the beans out. Okay, we also need some onions, and I am fresh out of onions. The only onions that I have are these ones, which are the onions that I canned, but those will work just fine. This is me realizing I'm gonna have so much food, but I think these recipes are so different that it won't seem like way too much food. So tomato, whoa. It is one of those days. Let's try that again. Tomato paste, just a couple of tablespoons. I'm opening a huge jar because I'm hoping that I'll need it. I also only have 1 little jar left, so I'm trying to hold on to that one. Okay, a couple good tablespoons going in, maybe. We did that. Now I only need half of these beans, but I wanted to use the big jar because I haven't really had the need for the big jar of beans, and so I'm gonna use them in the recipes today. I'm not gonna drain them because I just don't feel like it. Okay, about half of that jar. And then also only about half of this jar of crushed tomatoes. This is one of those things that I've been trying to use up, so we're using the crushed tomatoes today. I'm like, speaking of tomatoes, I had to peek back to make sure my tomatoes weren't overflowing. Are you guys keeping an eye on them for me? Okay. Crushed tomatoes look just like tomato sauce. Now I have to add some broth, but the broth is currently defrosting because I had it in the freezer. So we'll add the spices next. Okay, we need a little bit of cumin, well, a lot of bit of cumin, a lot of bit of chili powder, so much so that I just grabbed out the entire chili powder container. And same thing with the garlic. Doubling up on the garlic here. Ooh, that chili powder is getting in my nose. Some smoked paprika, salt, pepper, and then we're just gonna get this one on, and we'll be eating it shortly. Woo! My nose. Pepper, salt. 1 down, 2 to go. The other 2 are chicken. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I have a whole other ground beef pound. I have a whole pound of ground beef that I also want to use, but I might just freeze it, so we'll see. This might not need that liquid. We're gonna leave the, well, it'll be cooking in here for a while. Let's see if it'll even come out. We got some of it. I'll keep defrosting that little bit in the cold water defrost. Maybe that's all we needed because I did add a lot of the broth from the onions. Okay, let's get this one started and start on the next one. Next up, we have a chicken chili with corn and black beans. It's more of a taco seasoned flavor. So let's get everything in this pot. I already have this out. These are so simple. I love a dump and go crock pot recipe. I love chili with not quite chili season yet. We're just starting fall. I mean, we're almost there. It's football season. I don't watch football, but I know chili and football go together. So I just crush up my taco meat a little bit with the jar. Not taco meat, it's just chicken. Now it calls for diced tomatoes with green chilies, and I have this crushed tomatoes already open and I'm not going to use it for the next chili. So what I did was I just put a little bit of chilies in there from my freezer. So we are using that. We also need to add a packet of taco seasoning. Some frozen corn. This is frozen corn from the garden. And then it did call for a sauteed onion. I'm still out of onions, so onion, here we go. And then these black beans that I canned up also didn't seal, so I put them in the fridge and we're gonna get using them. Garlic. And then we need cumin, salt, and black pepper, and then I do need to add some broth to this. And I added a little bit with the chicken, I added a little bit with the onions, and then I need to add a little bit more. So maybe that broth will be a little bit more defrosted by now. Because use up all of the things. Well, almost can come out of there. Mix it up. I like that this is a chicken chili, but it's not a white chicken chili. I mean, that's what I'm gonna make next. I'm gonna make a white chicken chili, but it'll give us a little bit of a different flavor profile. You know, for now, I think we're good with the amount of liquid that we have. Okay, next it is. For this last one, we're using a very old style crock pot. I'm going to add some corn, and I'm cutting this recipe about in half because I already have a ton of chili. Now this does call for ground chicken, but I'm going to use canned chicken because I have it readily available. I'm also going to use canned onions. This is the last of my canned onions, so after this, I'm officially out of onions in my house. I'm going to add 1 can of beans, which is half of this jar. A little bit of chili powder, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Then, let's see, let's add some garlic. And this recipe does call for jalapenos and diced green chilies. I'm only going to add in the diced green chilies because I'm not a big fan of a ton of spice. So that'll be enough spice for me. Last thing this recipe calls for is some evaporated milk. And what I'm going to do instead is add some milk powder and then the rest of that broth. I think it'll come out now. No, what? There we go, we got it. Okay, let's give this a mix. And this one I will add cheese to a little later. Okay, let's get this one on and we'll be having a party. There's nobody coming to the party. It's just for food. All right, here's our chili cook-off. Let's see. We have our traditional beef chili, our chicken chili that is more of a dark color, and then our white chicken chili. So I'm excited to do a taste test in a few hours and see which one wins. All right, let's give these a taste test. These have been here for quite a few hours. They are boiling now. And I'm interested to see which one I like the best. So this is our regular chili, and I'm gonna have to get another fork soon, but let's see, regular chili. It's missing something. It's super spicy though. I think it's missing some garlic. I'm gonna add more garlic to it. Okay, so far my regular chili, which is the one that my mom makes, is better. But that's okay. Let's try this one. This is the chicken chili that's more of a dark color. Oops. That's really good. I've never put a taco seasoning in a chili before. I actually really like that. Now I'm wishing I had sour cream, because sour cream would go perfectly on there. I might have to run to the store and get some. Okay, last one is the white chicken chili. Okay. Still hot. That one's really spicy too. It needs a lot of salt, so let me do that. Okay, so for which one wins the chili cook-off, let me show you them and give you my results. Here they all are. The one that won the cook-off, surprisingly enough, is the taco chicken one. It's delicious, and I really think the main reason is because this one has the most balanced flavors, but it also isn't very spicy, which I did leave out a whole thing of jalapenos from it. So that's the favorite. And then next up, I think I'm going to go with the white chicken chili, just because it had a little bit more of a mild flavor. It was spicy, but it wasn't like as big of a spice kick. And I feel like, whew, if you're hearing those pings, I have some jars. But I think this one, once I add sour cream, will mellow out just fine and be delicious. So this is number 2. And then number 3 is just the good old-fashioned chili. It's good, but my mom's is better. So this one, it's a little spicy for me, but we will still eat through it and we will get a lot of sour cream in it.